Welcome back, athletes! Today, I am fully putting on my coach's hat because we are tackling what is honestly one of the absolute most frustrating hurdles in the entire fitness world. If your ultimate goal is hybrid training, meaning you want to lift heavy, build some serious muscle, but also run incredibly fast without completely burning yourself out, well, you are in the exact right place. This explainer is all about the exact science and the programming strategies that you need to master both strength and endurance. So get those notebooks ready. This is the coach's playbook for beating the interference effect. Now, can you actually build muscle and run fast at the exact same time? Look, I know exactly why you're here. You've got some massive ambitions, right? You want a huge squat, but you also want to go out and absolutely crush a 10K or dominate a high rocks race. But I also know the frustration. You hit the gym, you hit the pavement, and then suddenly, bam, your progress just stalls out. Your legs feel like literal lead, your lifts plateau, and your run times, yeah, they start getting slower. It honestly feels like your body is fighting itself. For decades, the old school fitness industry told us that you just had to choose, be a lifter or be a runner. But is that actually true? To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to introduce the ultimate villain of today's explainer. It's called the interference effect. Discovered way back in 1980 by a researcher named Hickson, this is the scientific term for what happens when your body tries to adapt to two completely different physical stressors at the exact same time. Think about it. Strength training demands your body to build larger muscle fibers, right? It wants to recruit motor units for explosive power. But endurance training, that demands efficiency, oxygen utilization, stamina. When you just mash them together without a solid plan, you end up creating competing neuromuscular and metabolic pathways. Basically, your body gets totally confused about what you actually want it to do. And, spoiler alert, the strength gains, they almost always lose that battle. But hey, do not throw away those running shoes just yet. What is super interesting here is the actual data. When we look at cardiorespiratory endurance outcomes comparing single-mode endurance training, so just running or cycling, against concurrent training, which is doing both strength and cardio, the science tells us a totally different story than those old gym myths. When it's programmed correctly, concurrent training doesn't just, not ruin your gains, it can actually potentiate your endurance. By adding strength to your aerobic work, you improve your movement economy. You're literally consuming less energy at the exact same speed. This is basically the cheat code that elite athletes are using in sports like high rocks, where you have to seamlessly go from heavy sled pushes right into running. So how do we hack this system to actually get those benefits? Well, we have to conquer two main scheduling battlegrounds. On one side, we have intra-session training. This is when you're doing your strength and your cardio in the exact same workout. On the other side, we've got inter-session training. This is when you separate the modalities by a few hours or even different days entirely. Honestly, how you organize your work across these two structures is literally the difference between thriving as a hybrid athlete and completely, totally burning out. Let's break down the rules for both. Rule 1, smart session sequencing. Look, if you're a busy person, and let's face it, almost all of us are, you're probably going to have to do your lifting and your cardio in the same session at some point. And if you absolutely must combine them, science dictates you prioritize the neuromuscular quality first. That means step 1 must be lifting heavy. Step 2 is your endurance work. Why? Because if you run first, you accumulate all this metabolic fatigue. By the time you finally drag yourself to the squat rack, your central nervous system is totally fried, and you just won't be able to generate the mechanical tension required to actually trigger any real muscle growth. You have got to secure those strength adaptations while you're fresh, and leave all that metabolic fatigue from the cardio for the back half of your workout. Make sense? Rule 2, timing your recovery. As a coach, I find myself constantly reminding my athletes about this one simple fact. You get stronger when you recover from the gym, not when you're actually in it. And the golden rule of spacing for two-a-days is this. You have got to wait a minimum of 6 hours between your sessions. And honestly, pushing that up to 24 hours is even better if those workouts are super intense. This 6 to 24-hour window is absolutely critical because your body desperately needs time to replenish its energy substrates. If you crush a heavy leg day and then try to go run intervals like 2 hours later, oh man, the interference effect is going to completely hijack your recovery. You've got to give your body the hours it needs to actually switch gears. Rule 3, managing cardio modalities. Here's the thing, not all cardio is created equal. Your body reacts very, very differently depending on the specific machine or pavement you choose. So here is your cardio hierarchy. First up, running. This causes the highest level of interference. Why? Because running has a massive eccentric component. Literally every single time your foot hits the ground, it causes micro damage to your leg muscles. And that fights directly against your squat recovery. Cycling, on the other hand, is mostly concentric. It has a way lower impact and significantly limits that negative interference. But, okay, here's the real secret weapon for the hybrid athlete: sprints. Short, intense sprint work can actually improve and maintain your VO2 max without compromising your strength adaptations at all. So try swapping some of those long, slow jogs for sprints or cycling and just watch your lifts go up.
Your hybrid training playbook.
All right, team, it's time to take all this science and actually put it on the gym floor. Because knowing about the interference effect is one thing, but planning around it is a whole different beast. If you're a beginner, training about 3 to 4 days a week, your focus should be 2 strength days and 1 really easy zone 2 cardio day. Keep them separate. Intermediates, you're going to bump that up to 4 or 5 days. We're looking at 3 strength sessions, 1 zone 2, and 1 interval session. And for the advanced athletes out there listening, we're talking 5 to 6 days total. That's 3 to 4 strength days alongside 2 to 3 cardio sessions. Do you notice how we're blending that low-intensity zone 2 with those high-intensity intervals? That specifically ensures you are building a massive aerobic base without constantly frying your legs with a ton of high-impact miles. Before we wrap up, I want to give you one final super practical diagnostic tool. I call it the 2 to 3 week leg check. Listen, the human body is incredibly dynamic, and sometimes you honestly won't even realize you're overdoing it until it is way too late. So pay really close attention to your lower body lifts. If your squat or your deadlift strength just stalls out, or worse, goes backward for 2 to 3 consecutive weeks, you are experiencing residual fatigue. You are officially falling victim to the interference effect. When that happens, you need to pull the emergency brake. Immediately reduce your high-intensity cardio volume or make absolutely sure that you're separating it from those leg days by a full 24 to 48 hours. At the end of the day, the science completely proves that you do not have to choose between being strong and being fast. You really just have to be smart about how you schedule your suffering. So I want to hear from you. What does your current hybrid training split actually look like right now? Are you accidentally making some of those intra-session mistakes we talked about today? Drop your routine down in the comments. Let's analyze it together, and let's get you back to hitting massive PRs on the platform and out on the track. Go get after that next session.